So in this video, I want to show you how to grow the biggest possible garlic bulbs. So to start off with, it's about timing. So you can plant garlic anytime between the end of September and then the end of February the following year, but it's the autumn planted garlic that's going to give you the biggest bulbs. And that kind of stands to reason because the little cloves that you plant, they're going to be going into lovely warm autumn soil. You're going to get really good root establishment, and that gives a head start then when the garlic really takes off in spring and summer when it does nearly all of its growth. Now, the earliest possible time, or generally accepted earliest time to plant your garlic is the autumn equinox. And that's when the day length and the night length are the same, equinox equal, and that is the 22nd of September. So that's when I try and get them in, but end of September, early October really is your best time. The other thing to remember is that garlic needs a period of cold below at least 3 degrees, and that causes the little clove that you plant in the ground, that causes that to then develop and grow a bulb made up of multiple cloves, which is obviously what you want. And then your autumn planted garlic, then obviously your garlic is in the ground over the winter, so that's when it's going to be cold. So then you're going to be happy that your vernalization will be complete. So I've decided to come out and brave the elements, but it still is really windy, so I do apologize if it's too blowy on the microphone here. Now, this bed, we had grown our main crop potatoes in them, and we've harvested them a couple of weeks ago. And you might remember one of my previous videos where I earthed up the potatoes using plenty of garden compost. And the point there was that that feeds the potatoes, but the other advantage is that we're left with a lovely fertile soil. So I don't need to do anything more to this before I plant my garlic, apart from just give it a quick rake over. And what I'm looking out for are any little potatoes that got left over that I missed, because they're just going to sprout the following year. So we're going to get rid of those. Now, obviously, if you haven't done this, what I would advise is adding a layer of maybe 3 to 5 centimeters of really well rotted compost, because garlic does like a reasonably well fed soil. If you need to further substitute, I know I show this in so many videos, but it's my best all-rounder. This is the quickcrop brand Seafeed seaweed and poultry manure pellet, and you could add about 150 grams per square meter if you need to top up your soil with nutrients. Now, this might seem really obvious, but the best seed garlic that you can get is going to grow the best garlic for your table. So these ones here, this is Messidrome, as I said, and this is my own garlic from this year. And if I just break open the bulb there, we can see that we have our separate garlic cloves. Now, the bigger garlic cloves from your bulb are going to grow the biggest garlic. So as you take the cloves off the outside, what you're going to find is that each bulb is probably going to give you maybe 10 really good sized cloves. And then once we get to the center, and this is actually looking pretty good all around, but once we get to the center, then you can see then that they start getting a bit skinnier. So you can see the difference there, I hope. Hang on, sorry now. So that's a nice big fat one from the outside, and then this is one from the inside. So I would tend to just use the smaller ones in the kitchen, and then I would get my big fat juicy ones and I'd use those for planting. Planting distance will also affect the size of your finished bulb. So Anna, if you have a look in here, I've just laid out these cloves on the ground at about 10 centimeters between each one, and then 10 centimeters between each row. And that's going to give you kind of medium sized bulbs. And if you want larger bulbs, just increase your row spacing. So still have 10 centimeters between each clove, but we'll increase the row distance to 25 centimeters. And then to plant your garlic, I mean, it really is just so easy. All we're doing is just using a dibber, and we're just making a small hole in the compost and we're popping it in. And it really is as simple as that. So that's your outside planting, but the real secret sauce, if you want really massive garlic, is to grow it undercover if you have a greenhouse or polytunnel. And the reason is obvious in one way, in that it's a little bit warmer, so you get a bit more growth. But a big one is that garlic very commonly outside suffers from a fungal disease called garlic rust, and that just reduces the efficiency of the leaves because it's a kind of a rusty fungus on the leaves. It doesn't kill the plant, but if your leaf efficiency is reduced, then obviously your garlic is going to be smaller. Now, just like potato blight, garlic rust needs water droplets to spread. So if you're growing it under cover, then you can just water the surface of your soil, but you don't water the garlic leaves, and then you can really significantly reduce rust. And if you can do that, then you significantly increase the efficiency of your leaves. And if you've got really good leaves, then you get really good bulbs. So that's it. I hope you found this little video helpful. Sorry we had to battle the weather a little bit. Please do like and subscribe because it helps us so much in making these videos. And if you would like to get weekly updates from me, from the vegetable garden, on how to grow all sorts of vegetables with plenty of tips and tricks, do go to the Quick Crop website and sign up for our newsletter. So look, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.